and thank you for joining me on Delicious by Debbie. And today I have some leftover country potato bread that I'm gonna have to do something with because it isn't soft enough to just use it for a sandwich, but I don't want to throw it away either. So I have been wanting to make my own croutons, and that's something I have not done for a long time. And so that's what I'm gonna do today. So to start with, I'm gonna cut this bread up into chunks and let it sit here on this cutting board and dry just a little bit. I'm gonna leave the crusts on it. I don't want to cut those out, but I'm just going to cut it in chunks. I don't like to get great big huge croutons, but I also don't want them real tiny. And I'm hoping they turn out this time that they're not so hard they about break your teeth. But it's a snowy, cold day outside, and I decided it was a good day to use up this bread. Go ahead and make some croutons. I'm just going to let these sit here and dry after I cut them. That way it'll use this bread up. Otherwise I would just cut it up in chunks and freeze it for stuffing. But I probably won't be making stuffing for a while now that the holidays are over. We'll just get this cut up. I like to put croutons on my salad, sometimes on a bowl of soup, depending on what kind of soup it is, or even crumble them up a little bit and put them on top of a casserole. That works too. Actually, once you've made them and seasoned them and they're dry, you can also put them in a processor and make breadcrumbs, and they would be seasoned breadcrumbs. Okay, my bread cubes have been sitting now long enough that they are dry. I'm going to measure these just so I can tell you how many cups of these dried bread cubes I have for our croutons. So I had no way of knowing just by glancing at these how many cups that would be, but I'm sure people are going to want to know. So I decided I would just go ahead and measure them. All right, and that's right at 8 cups. All right, next I'm going to take some olive oil and some spices. I'm gonna put these breadcrumbs into this bowl so I have room to really mix them around. Get my spices together here. All right, so first of all, I want 1/4 cup of oil. Actually, I think I'm going to use 1/3 because I've got more bread cubes than I normally do. So I'm going to put 1/3 cup of oil. I'm using olive oil. You can use whatever kind you want. Some people even use melted butter instead, but I'm using olive oil. To the olive oil, I'm going to add a teaspoon of salt, just a scant teaspoon of salt, not quite a teaspoon. Okay, I want 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. That was 1/4. Let's get it in half here. There we go. 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. 1/2 teaspoon of Italian seasoning. 1/2 teaspoon of Herbs de Provence. Oh, I guess that's my parsley flakes, and I want a half a teaspoon of that too. So half a teaspoon of parsley flakes. Let's make that 1 teaspoon of parsley flakes. 1 teaspoon of parsley flakes. And a half of a teaspoon of Herbs de Provence. All right, we'll mix all those spices up in the olive oil. This is what it's looking like. Then I'm going to pour that over the bread cubes and then quickly put the lid on. I'm gonna shake these around. See what those look like now. Yeah, I'm gonna shake them around a little. I decided I want to put some Parmesan cheese in mine too this time. I've done that before and it was really good. If I was to guesstimate, I would say a couple of tablespoons. It's gotten kind of lumpy in there. All right, I'm gonna shake these around some more. I have my oven preheating to 350, and I'm gonna put these in for 15 to 20 minutes. I'm gonna set it for 10 minutes, check them, set it for another 5, and just keep an eye on them. I don't think I'm gonna crowd them all onto one tray because I like them to be scattered out. Don't want them touching each other any more than we have to. So I'll space these out. Oh, they smell so good. As soon as that oven warms up, we'll put these in for 10 minutes. If it needs more, I'll do more, and we'll go from there. And here are our croutons. This is after just 10 minutes. I wouldn't have wanted to do them any longer than that. So 10 minutes is the right length of time. And I did not turn them over. Some people turn them over partway through. I did not. I just let them stay on the trays, and they even browned on the underside. So that's perfect to me. I'm gonna let these cool, and then I'm gonna store them in probably a Ziploc bag or a Rubbermaid container. They can actually be put in the freezer, but they'll last a long time this way. So I just wanted you to see how I do them, and hopefully you'll try them someday. Thank you for watching. I finished making our croutons. Let you see those. And I am going to have to put these away pretty quickly, because if I don't, I'm going to eat them all because they are delicious. Very good. Not hard. Salad with croutons. And the croutons are so hard you can hardly bite them. So these are not like that. These are very, very good. So there they are. Our croutons. Hope you'll give it a try.